Oh my god.
Anna!
Oh my god. I got it all on video, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
Hi, I'm Joshua Yuan.
And I'm Sarah Tanase, and we are the physics teacher candidates from the UCI MAT program. We created a phenomenon-based unit for a high school physics classroom. This unit will be exploring waves and wave behaviors. The essential question of the unit is, how does seismic activity impact regions that are great distances away?
The NGSS standards addressed in this unit will allow students to use mathematical representations to understand the relationships between variables describing waves. Students will also understand how devices transmit energy through waves.
The first phase of the unit is eliciting student thinking. We used a phenomenon of a 7.1 earthquake that originated in Ridgecrest, California. This impacted Southern California, where our students are currently residing. They will be watching a video and reading an article to gather information about the event. They will then participate in small group modeling around the essential question of how seismic activity impacts regions that are great distances away.
The next phase of the unit will support ongoing changes in student thinking. The first activity will be a wave concept map. In this activity, students will connect their initial ideas about earthquakes with their observations of various wave simulations. After exploring the simulations, students will then create concept maps of their current understanding of waves. Students will be able to understand how seismic activity travels.
The second activity is the wave property jigsaw. In this activity, students become an expert on a wave property term and explain their findings to their peers. They will be given opportunities to practice using this vocabulary to give them academic language to communicate their ideas throughout the unit. By the end of the unit, students should understand what words they can use to describe waves.
The next activity will be a waves through media lab. Students will understand how waves propagate through different materials by dropping different weights from different heights onto different materials. Students will take qualitative observations and make evidence-based claims from their observations. Students will be able to answer the question, why do waves travel differently through various media, and how does that manifest during earthquakes?
The final learning activity is the Paper Cup Speaker Lab. Students will participate in the engineering design process to construct speakers out of paper cups, tape, toilet paper rolls, and other materials. After building and testing their devices, they will discuss how energy dissipates over distance and the different forms it can leave the system in. By the end of the learning activity, students should be able to answer the question, how does seismic activity dissipate over distance? After each of the learning activities, students will contribute to a summary table and an explanation checklist. The summary table is broken into 4 columns: the name of the activity, what they saw during that activity, the scientific concepts they learned, and how that helps them answer the essential question. They will also be generating an explanation checklist for what should be included in a thorough explanation of the essential question for the unit.
The last phase of this unit will be pressing for evidence-based explanations. Students will be assessed through an individual worksheet where they will be asked to model the phenomena and also give a written explanation. Students will be provided with a checklist for each of these components. Students will also be asked to identify evidence from their learning activities that support their explanations. Students will also be given supplemental questions that are open-ended and allow them to show what they know.
Through designing this NGSS unit together, I've learned that it's really important to put student ideas at the forefront of instruction. Valuing student input and building off of their initial ideas are imperative in positioning students as the producers of knowledge rather than the receivers.
Planning this unit allowed me to learn that student sense making is easier and more authentic with a phenomenon that anchors the unit. The questions that students explore should be generated by the students, but guided by the instruction from the teachers.